So good evening to all. Hello.
Sir.
Okay. So I think you're getting my voice. so so in the last class we had discussed about the series parallel magnetic circuits, and the next one is fringing effect. So fringing effect is results when there is an air gap present in the magnetic circuit. So here we consider this is the this is the air gap. Okay, so this is the core. It's like a C-shaped core. C-shaped core. Okay, so here there is a gap. So when there is a gap will present in a core, so then the fringing effect will be occurs. Okay, it makes magnetic flux density of the air gap different from the flux density of the core. So the fringing effect is occurs at that moment. The flux is the flux density is different from the uh, core core density. Okay, so but the flux is the same. So the flux density of the core is equals to air gap density. In addition to that, we have some additional flux will be produces. That is some uh, spreading of the lines of flux at the edges of the air gap. So here these two lines and here these two lines are considered as the spreading of the flux lines. Okay, so these are occurs at edges of this air gap, and this formation of these fluxes at edges is called as fringing effect. It is called as fringing effect. So formation of fringing effect is benefit for the generation of the flux. Okay, so increases the effective area of the air gap. Okay, so here the area of the air gap will be increases by fringing effect. So if the area will be increases, the reluctance will be decreases. Reluctance decreases means conductance will be increases. Conductance of the flux will be increases. So that's why the fringing effect in the magnetic circuit will be useful effect. Whereas leakage flux is not an useful effect. Okay, because so the most of the flux should be flows through this core only. So some of the flux will be comes out of this core. Okay, and that particular flux will be considered as leakage flux. Okay, so this leakage flux is not required. Okay, so this will be is not I mean, so it is not desired effect, not desired effect. Okay. So the next one is, and this is a very important one, important. So that is a comparison between magnetic and electric circuits. Comparison between magnetic and electric circuits. Okay. So we have a clear variations between the magnetic circuit and the electric circuit. So in the left side we will give the magnetic circuit, on the right side is electric circuit. So this is the magnetic circuit, and here it is the electric circuit. So already we are discussed so far. Flux phi is equals to mmf by reluctance, and here on the electric circuit is current is equals to emf by resistance. That is current I is equals to V by R. In the magnetic circuit we have mmf, so it is magnetomotive force. That is units are ampere turns, ampere turns. Whereas in the electric circuit it is emf, electromotive force, and units are volts. And for the flux, units are webers and is represented by pi. whereas in the electrical circuit it is similar to, see here, the water given in the left side are the on the right side, both are similarity in their corresponding circuits. So here this the mmf is the force, and here it is emf is the force, and flux is the flow. So, okay, and here the current is the flow of the current. So here the flux magnetic field will be moves, and flux density. Okay, so that is Webers per meter square. This is represented B. Whereas in current density is amperes per meter square. Amperes per meter square. And the next one is reluctance. S is equals to 1 by mu A. So it is similar to as the resistance. R is equals to rho L by A is equals to L by uh, inverse of rho into A. Whereas 1 by rho is corresponds to the inverse of the resistance, that is the conductance. So permeance is equals to 1 by reluctance. Conductance is equals to 1 by resistance. Reluctivity, resistivity. Permeability is equals to 1 by reluctivity. Conductivity is equals to 1 by resistivity. Whereas total MMF, so the voltage is, we can consider MMF is equals to pi into S1 plus pi into S2 plus pi into S3. So pi is it is constant in the series circuit. So whereas in the electric circuit, total EMF I into R1 plus I into R2 plus I into R3 in the series circuit. Okay. So like this we have there is comparison between magnetic circuit and electric circuit. It is also one of the important uh, question we may expect in examination. So the next one, uh, so here we have whenever an electric current flows through a conductor, a magnetic field immediately brought into existence in the space surrounding the conductor. Suppose you will take a conductor or wire. Okay, so when there is a current is flowing through this conductor, whenever a current flowing through the conductor, due to that, the flux will be generated, the magnetic flux will be generated around that coil. Okay, around that conductor, there is a flux, magnetic flux will be generated. So because we are making some insulation of that conductor, that's why we are unable to see the effect of the magnetic flux. Okay, so similarly, because why it is producing the flux means when the electrons are in motion, they produce the magnetic field. So in the conductor, the electrons will be flows because the applied voltage, the current will be flows. Current is nothing but movement of the electrons. When the electrons are moving, so there is a formation of the magnetic field. Okay, so that magnetic field will be produces around the conductor. Similarly, when a magnetic field is embracing a conductor, okay, suppose you consider a conductor and that conductor will be around this conductor, we will you will provide a magnetic field, and the conductor will be in motion or moves relatively with this field, then it will produces the movement of the electrons or flow of the electrons. Flow of the electrons. So in either case, so whenever the current is flowing through the electrons are moving in the conductor, it will produce the magnetic field. Similarly, a conductor is placed in a magnetic field and that conductor is moving with respect to this magnetic field, then there is a movement of the electrons in the conductor that gives the generation of the current. Okay, so this phenomenon of EMF and current is induced. EMF and current is induced in any conductor which is cut across or is cut by a magnetic flux. is known as electromagnetic induction. Okay. So EMF will be EMF is electromotive force, and from that there is a generation of the current. So these are induces. So these are induces. Okay. So induces is different from the produce. So produce means by applying some external energy, it will produces the some output. Okay. So these are the effects of uh, applying. Suppose a conductor is placed in a magnetic field. Okay, we are applying some magnetic field, and by that movement of the conductor in the magnetic field, the electrons will be have its motion, and due to that we have the current. Okay, so that's why these are called as induced EMF, and induced currents. Okay, so these are produced when there is a conductor will be cuts the magnetic field. Suppose from north pole to south pole, from north. So next figures we have. So I will explain. So whenever the conductor will cuts the magnetic field, then there is a movement of the electric current in the conductor. Or if the conductor is constant, the magnetic field will be changes. If the magnetic field will be changes, then also there is generation of the electric field. So that is nothing but known as the electromagnetic induction. That is known as electromagnetic induction. So production of induced EMF and a current. So here, see, so there are two figures. Okay, here this is the wire, Okay, and one end of the wire is connected to a galvanometer. So this the G is the galvanometer. So galvanometer is used to find the current, or you can use it as to find the deflection of the current flowing through this meter. If the current is flowing through this meter, this galvanometer pointer will be there, and that point will be deflects depending upon the direction of the current. Depending upon the direction of the current, the point will be deflects. I think you may be seen this galvanometer. Okay, so this is the pointer, and on the pointer below we have a scale. On the scale, it represents the values. That is, so center position it is 0. Okay, so this is the 1, 2, 3, like that. There is dial is there. Dial, we can call it as dial. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So depending upon the current rating. Okay, so okay, so when there is a current is flowing through this galvanometer, the point will be deflected. Okay, so this point will indicate how much current is flowing through this wire. How much current is flowing through this wire. So, and also it indicates the direction of the meter. Okay, so here, so this is the insulated wire. Okay, so and this insulated wire is at two ends are connected to the galvanometer, and assume that initially the magnet is at A and B. Initially, the magnet is north and south pole. It is having north pole, south pole magnet. It is placed at A and B. So in such situation, there is no magnetic field will be cut by these conductors. Okay. It means it is some far away from this coil. So this coil is far away from this point A. Okay. So in such situation, there is no deflection in the galvanometer. So when the galvanometer will deflect means if there is any current will be generated in the coil. When the current is generated or induces in the coil, then the galvanometer will be deflected depending upon the current value. Okay, So initially assume that the magnet is present at A and B, at positions A and B. Okay. So because this is a very far away distance, that's why the magnetic flux does not cut by this coil. So that the Galomet does not produce any deflection. So the value is 0. So the value is 0. So now move the magnet from B to D. B to D. So due to that, the sudden change of the magnet, sudden change from B to D, the magnet will be moved towards this particular coil. So due to that, the flux will be cut by this coil, and due to that, the EMF will be, or the current will be generated in the coil. Okay, and due to that, the galvanometer will be shows the value. So the point will be turns to right side. Okay, here the main point is whenever the magnet will be tries towards this particular coil, and this magnetic field will cut by this coil. Okay, so then only it will produce as the current. After reaching this particular point, again the current will be off. Again the current will be off. Suddenly, suppose here the main point is we have to provide any variation in the field. So one thing, the conductor may be changes or the magnetic field may be changes. So after reaching this particular C and D point, the magnet is constant. Okay. So in such situation, again the current is zero. Current is zero. So when the magnet is reaches or approaches towards this coil, then the current will be generates. After reaching and it is stationary at this point, it does not produce any current. Okay. Now again consider the magnet in this figure. Now the magnet is moving away from this coil. Away from this coil. Consider the magnet is moving away from this coil, and suddenly it is changing. Suddenly it is changing from C to D. C to A. Okay. So in such situation again there is deflection of the meter. After moving away again there is a far away distance. I mean distance is very high. That's why the flux does not cut by this coil, and the EMF is 0 or current is 0. Okay. So the EMF will be or current will be generated or induced in such a situation that either coil is moving or the magnetic flux linkages should be changed. Okay. So if the constant flux generation does not produce any current, the flux linkages also should be changed. It means the magnet should be, this magnet should be having a movement front and back, front and back. Okay. So then only the EMF will be generated in the coil, and due to that we have the current in the meter. Okay. So either the coil should be changed or either the magnet should be changed. So stationary magnets does not produce any EMF. Okay, stationary magnet. So we are just bringing from this point to this point. While bringing, it will produces the current. Okay, because the flux linkages with this coil, is changing. After reaching this particular point, the flux linkages is constant, and due to that, it does not produce any EMF, electromagnetic force in the coil. Okay. So the deflection of the galvanometer indicates the production of EMF in the coil. The deflection of the galvanometer indicates the production of EMF in the coil. The only cause the production can be sudden approach or withdrawal of the magnet from the coil. So only the EMF will be generated when there is a sudden approach of the magnet or sudden withdrawal. Okay, so the magnet will be approaches towards the coil or moving away from the coil. So that will be in such situation only there is a generation of the EMF, the coil. So it is found that actual cause of this EMF is the change of flux linking with the coil. Okay, so the reason because of production of this EMF is the change of the flux linking with the coil. The flux will be links with the coil, and due to that the EMF will be generates, and that flux linkages also changes. So just connecting it is not produce the EMF. The flux linkages also changes. That linkage will be change of the linkage will be possible by moving the magnet front and back, okay, or changing its position. This EMF exists so long as the changes in the flux exists. See here, EMF exists so long as the change in the flux exist. Okay. So flux changes is also important. So stationary flux, however strong, will never induce any EMF in a stationary conductor. Okay, so we have a strong magnet and it is having a strong magnetic flux, and it is a constant or it is stationary, so it does not produce any EMF. And in fact, the same results can be obtained by keeping the bar magnet stationary and moving the coil suddenly away or towards the magnet. So we can produce the EMF. Similarly, the magnet is fixed and the coil is moving towards and away from the magnet. So in such a situation also we can get the EMF in the coil. Okay, there are two ways. So the production of the electromagnetically induced EMF is further illustrated by considering the conductor AB lying with the magnetic field and connecting to the galvanometer as shown figure. So here, this is the magnet field, north pole to south pole. The red direction indicates the flux direction, and here this is the magnet, and this is this is the conductor. A is the conductor, and this A conductor is placed in the magnetic field, and it is the two ends of this conductor is connected to a meter, galvanometer. It indicates the flow of the current through this conductor. Okay, see here, just placing this conductor in the magnetic field does not produce the EMF. Just by placing this conductor in the magnetic field, okay, so does not produce any EMF. So now the coil should be moves up and down. See here, the dotted line indicates the dotted line indicates the different positions of this conductor. So upper side and down side. So by moving this conductor up and down, so it causes the EMF in the coil. So that leads to generation of the current in the coil, and it will be indicated by the meter. So whenever the conductor is moved up or down, the momentary deflection is produced in the galvanometer. So it means that some transient EMF is induced in AB. So the magnitude of this induced EMF, okay, depends on the quickness of the movement of AB. So how fast we can change or moves the conductor in the magnetic field, according to that, the generation of the EMF will be depends. The generation of EMF will be depends upon the how fast we can changes the position of the conductor in the field. It means we can move up and down. Okay. So if you move up and down very quickly or fastly, so that results more amount of the EMF in the conductor, generates the conductor, generates EMF in the conductor. Okay. So from this experiment, we can conclude that whenever the conductor cuts the magnetic flux, an EMF is always induced in it. Whenever a conductor cuts the magnetic flux, an EMF is always induced in it. It is also found that if the conductor is moved parallel to the direction of the flux, so that it does not cut it, then no EMF is induced in it. So here we are saying that, so this conductor is moving up and down only. Suppose the conductor is moving parallel to this field. If the conductor is moving parallel in this direction, then there is no EMF will be generated. When the conductor will be moves parallel with the flux direction, then there is no flux will be generated. The conductor should be moved perpendicular to the flux direction. Then only the EMF will be induces. Okay. So this is you can say by using the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Faraday is summed up the above facts into two laws known as the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. The first law is whenever the magnetic flux linked with a circuit changes, an EMF is always induced in it. So the flux linked with the circuit changes. Okay, the flux linkage from the magnet will be with the conductor. If it changes, then there is the EMF will be induced in it. Or whenever a conductor cuts the magnetic flux, so either the magnet will be the magnetic flux will be the magnetic flux link with the conductor changes, or the conductor will be cuts the magnetic flux. When the conductor cuts the magnetic flux, then also you can produce the EMF. So this is the Faraday's laws of first law. Faraday's first law. And Faraday's laws of second law is here again I will explain. Okay. The second law, it states that the magnitude of the induced EMF is equal to the rate of change of flux linkages. So how much voltage it will produces? So we are saying that whenever a conductor cuts the magnetic flux, it produces the EMF. How much EMF? How much amount of EMF it will be generates, or magnitude of the EMF generated or induced EMF is equal to the rate of change of the flux linkage. The rate of change of the flux linkage. So how these flux linkages will be changes with the conductor? That depends upon based upon that the magnitude of the EMF will be depends. Okay. Suppose a coil has n turns. Okay. Suppose a coil has n turns and the flux through it changes from an initial value of 1 webers to the final value of 2 webers in time t seconds. So for a given time t seconds, initially the flux linkage is 1 and final linkage of is the 2. That is flux. Initial flux is 1 and final flux is 2, and we have a coil, and that coil is having n turns. Okay, so with this n turns of the coil, the flux linkages is the flux 1 and 2. So then the flux linkages means the product of number of turns and the flux linked with the coil. Flux linkage means number of turns and the flux linked. So number of turns is n and flux linkage is the 1. So we have initial flux linkage is n into 1. So initial flux linkage is produced as n into 1, and the final flux linkage is n into 2, and induced EMF is equals to there is a change of the flux linkages. I think this is 2 n pi 2 by n pi 2 minus n pi 1. So there is a mistake here. So this is the n pi 2 minus n pi 1 because the final flux linkage is more than the initial flux linkage. That's why this is n pi 2 minus n pi 1 by t. So for a given amount of time, so there is a change of the flux linkages that produces the induced EMF, that is given as Weber per seconds or volts, and E is equals to n pi 2 minus n pi 1, n pi 2 minus n of pi 2 minus pi 1. So this is the change of the flux. So this can be represented as the d pi by dt. So putting the above expression in its differential form, so we get, so E is equals to d by dt of n pi. So d by dt of change of the flux. Okay, change of the flux is the rate of change of the flux with respect to time. It will be represented as d by dt of n into pi. N is the number of turns is constant, and we can get the d pi by dt. So d pi by d pi is the change of the rate of change of the flux linkage, or rate of change of the flux, rate of change of the flux. Okay, so like this we can get the induced EMF. So E is equals to n into d pi by dt. So here we will have one negative sign. Okay, so we will get a negative sign because the induced EMF sets up current in such a direction that magnetic effect produced by it opposes the very cause producing it. Okay, so we have to get the E is equals to n d pi by dt volts, and it is considered as the negative voltage, because by the flux linkages it will opposes some force. Okay, so by connecting it with the coil, so the generated EMF again it will be produces some opposing effect. That's why this E will be considered as a negative. So direction of induced EMF and currents. So there exists a definite relationship between the direction of the induced current and the direction of the flux and the direction of the motion of the conductor. So the direction of the induced current may be found easily by applying either Fleming's right hand rule or flat hand rule or Lenz's law. Okay. So we are saying that there is a EMF is generating, and due to that the current is producing. Okay, so the direction of the induced current may be found by easily Fleming's right hand rule. So in the previous we have seen that Fleming's left hand rule. So Fleming's left hand rule, in that the direction of the movement, the force will be developed when a current carrying conductor is placed between the magnetic field, there is a force will be exerted on the conductor. Okay, so whereas in this case the EMF will be generated. Okay, Fleming's rule is used when induced EMF is due to flux cutting, and Lenz's law is used to change by flux linkage. So here Fleming's rule is used when induced EMF is due to the flux cutting. Okay, so that induced EMF is called as dynamically induced EMF. Okay, there are two types of induced EMFs. One is dynamically induced EMF, and another one is the statistically induced EMF. Dynamically induced EMF and statistically induced EMF. Okay. So this is the Fleming's right hand rule. So if you put your thumb, forefinger and middle finger of the right hand, okay, So the forefinger will represent the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, and the thumb finger will represent the direction of the motion of this conductor. It is perpendicular to the field. It is perpendicular to the field, and EMF will be produced in the conductor. The EMF will be produced in the conductor in the direction of the middle finger. The direction of the middle finger. Okay. So like this we can have the direction of the current also. In this direction we will produce the current. So direction of the current will be in the forefinger. So there is a, the session is closing within 1 minute. Okay. So this Fleming's law, Fleming's right hand rule. This is the Fleming's right hand rule will gives the direction of the current in a conductor will be moves in the magnetic field. Okay. So this is the also same as this one.